Are you looking to feel more confident? Well, let's talk. I'm Michele Thill with Newland Wellness, and today I want to talk about how to boost your confidence, because I feel like we could all use a dose of boosting our confidence and moving forward into the life that we would really desire, the life that's waiting for us to step into it. Now, really, anyone could benefit from listening to what I have to share, yet I look to focus on us women who are over 50. And especially those of us who have been through or are going through a life transition, like divorce, like myself. Because I find many of us have a lack of confidence, especially if we find ourselves on our own for the first time, like I did. I had never been on my own, lived on my own, or had to support myself. And when my ex left, I had to learn how to take care of myself and take care of things. And let me tell you, if I can do it, so can you. And I'm here to help guide you on what's helped me over these last 10 years as I continue to move forward in my life. And I find confidence is something that many of us feel we're lacking, and we're waiting for those moments when we feel more confident. And we're waiting for those moments when we feel more confident. And we're waiting for those moments when we feel more confident. And you get the picture? What are we doing? We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. And with confidence, what I've learned and come to discover is that it's not a waiting game. It's not waiting to be ready. It's actually taking action. Confidence comes when you take action. Because think about this. The first time you do something, are you going to be good at it? Right? So you're new to it. So here's where the more you do, the more you practice, the more you become. It's like me, for example, getting on these sessions and speaking with you. I remember when I first started, how nervous I was. I didn't even want to see myself. I put a piece of paper over so that the camera could see me, but I couldn't see me. I was so nervous. And over time, the more I pushed myself out of the familiar zone, the more comfortable I became. And this is something that we can all start gently pushing ourselves into. Stepping out of the comfort zone. Not that we need to step out of our comfort zone so much, because a lot of times our comfort zone is actually uncomfortable when you think about it. It's more stepping out of the familiar zone of how it's always been and moving into how you want it to be. And one of the things that I found really helped is something I'll call evidence stacking. Now, I've talked about habit stacking before, where when you want to create a new habit, you stack it with something you're already doing as a trigger and as a reminder to do it. Well, evidence stacking is sort of that same concept. It's you actually start doing things. And the more you do, the more you start stacking the evidence that you are stronger than you realized, wiser than you realized, more resilient, more bold, more brave and courageous than you realized, because you're stepping out. And not many people do that. There are a lot of people who stay within that familiar zone and never leave there. They may think about it, they may wish for it, but they don't actually do it. And here's a case where I'm encouraging you to do it. Just do it, like Nike says, because the more you do, the more you be. The more you be confident, the more you boost your confidence, because you start seeing what you're capable of, and you start realizing you're growing and you're evolving, and that everything starts working out for you in the direction you're choosing to go. So let me give you some examples. Evidence stacking can look like, and I'm going to do a little wide range, but for example, saying no to something that doesn't feel right. As women especially, we are the people pleasers, we are the caretakers, and we feel uncomfortable saying the no word. We've been raised to be polite and to play nicely. And one way you can start stepping up and standing up for yourself is by saying no to the things that don't feel right, either any longer or maybe in the moment. It could be somebody would like you to host an event, and you just decide, I really don't have the time and the energy to give that event my all. And you say no and let somebody else take that wheel on. Or maybe it's passing on an event that you really just feel is gonna drain you. It may be a family gathering where you're just feeling like, I'm not feeling it being around some of these people, and instead of grinning and bearing it, I would rather take a pass. It could be an organization or some volunteer work that you've always done, or a role that you've held that you're realizing, you know what, at one time this worked and now it isn't. And it's just nicely, politely saying no without a lot of excuses, but in a way that speaks up for you. Instead of you saying yes and dreading it, say no and start stepping into more confidence that you're taking care of you. Another one would be speaking up, even if it's just a little. How many times are we at events where we just kind of are on the sidelines? Everybody's giving their thoughts and views, and you sit back, never saying anything. I know I've done that. And not that it's monopolizing the conversation, but it's including yourself in the conversation and you're figuring out what you really stand for and what aligns with you now, what your core values are now. And you start really getting yourself aligned with who you now choose to be. Or maybe it's speaking up for someone or something. If you hear someone bad-mouthing someone, and instead of just saying nothing, maybe it's standing up for that person, or standing up for even women of this age. Sometimes I hear where people just say, oh, that group's too old or whatever, and standing up and saying, no, we're still vibrant and a vital an essential part of society with a lot of wisdom and experience to share. It could be talking to a friend. Maybe there's something that deep down is kind of bugging you in a way, and instead of just brushing it off, you decide to have an honest conversation, which actually would benefit both of you, really, because you're getting a chance to open up and let them also open up so that you better understand each other and move forward to a more comfortable relationship as time continues on. It could be doing something new. And doing something new does feel uncomfortable. Again, uncomfortable doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just something new. And when you step out of that familiar zone, that autopilot zone, you start realizing there's so much more to life. There's so much fun to be had. And it starts with, say, something as simple as taking a new route to work, or home from work, or walking in a new area, for an example, instead of taking that same old familiar path, shopping at a new grocery store, or maybe you go for a morning coffee and you go to another place and check that out instead. Something where you're just trying something new. It could be that you sign up for something, whether it's a free class or it's a paid something that you deep down really want to do, but you're nervous about doing it. Why not? Or what about going to a restaurant and just eating by yourself? I've done all these different things that I've talked about, and I've really seen it as an adventure of just noticing what I'm noticing about myself. Feeling comfortable to just sit at a restaurant and eat when you're all by yourself, not worried about what anyone else thinks, because it doesn't matter, is really invigorating. Or one time I remember I took a class for women midlife who were on their own, and it was downtown, and I took the L, and I had to walk to where it was at and walk back, and I just remember how proud I felt that, I did this. It would have been easy to just stay home, but I took an adventure. And that's what I want you to think of, is when you try something new, not that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. How scary that sounds. And so many people push that, step outside of your comfort zone. And like it's just so scary. What if that's scary? You flip the way you look at it, and it's exciting. And it's an adventure and something new. And it can be just something so small as a new route to work. And just what you're doing is you're retraining your brain. We tend to live on autopilot. And when we do something new, we're creating new neural pathways in our brain, and we're rewiring our brains, which I'm going to tell you is essential as we get older for everyone. And that could be someone who's 16 getting older, turning 17 and 18. We have so many parts of our brain, or there are parts of our brain, maybe I should put it that way, that are closed down when we live on autopilot, that when you do something new, even brushing your teeth with the opposite hand, it gets your brain thinking. It fires it up and rewires it. And it opens up areas that have been closed down. I love doing new things because I think of it as I'm opening up my brain and I'm helping my cognitive ability. And how many of us, as we get older, fear foggy brain, that we won't remember like we once did, that we'll become forgetful. You don't have to go down that road. The more new you include, the more you open up your brain and you start thinking more. So not only is it a benefit that you're building confidence, because look at the things you're stepping into doing, but you're also rewiring your brain and helping yourself. How awesome is that? And it's all for free. Think about this. And with you at any time. These are things I love. Free, and it's easy and right here with me. I don't have to have a piece of equipment or whatever, or make a huge investment to do something. The last one is to follow through on your promises to yourself. Because how many times do we say things like, well, I should be getting more sleep. I should be going to bed earlier. And then we just keep saying that. We keep waiting for that day that we're going to go to bed earlier instead of just do it. Go to bed earlier and discover how you feel better when you wake up in the morning. Or maybe it's, well, I've thought about journaling. You know, I hear so much about letting out my feelings, or even doing a gratitude journal. And, you know, I should be doing that. Make that promise. If that resonates with you, if that's something that kind of pings at you, do it. You know, it could be that you are looking to try something new, like getting into yoga or going outside and walking. Just do it. If you're thinking about doing something that you know deep down will benefit you, then act on that promise to yourself to actually do it. Don't wait for one day. Make it day one. Again, the more you're doing all of this, the more you become confident in who you are, what you stand for, how you take care of yourself, how you speak up for yourself and even others. And again, it doesn't mean that you have to do any of this in a way that makes you look like an old curmudgeon or grumpy, or, you know, as we get older, the grumpy older person, or we're set in our ways or whatever. This actually will help you not only boost your confidence and rewire your brain, but energize you and help you to feel more young and vibrant. What is your takeaways for today? What would you not try, but actually do? Think about that and actually make the time to do it. And it could only take you a few minutes to do so. And watch how the more you do this, the more you're stacking the evidence that you are more resilient, you're bolder, you're courageous and brave, you're wiser, you're stronger than you've realized. and that you've given yourself credit for. If you like what you hear, if I resonate with you, please like and follow for more and subscribe. And also, please share this with someone that you feel would benefit from this, because we're all in this together. And I feel the more we take care of ourselves, the more we take care of others as well, the more we bring more joy into our lives, our communities, our world. And don't we all need that more than ever right now? Until next time, be well.